a mess.
And you know they're not confirming the address before they hit request.
No. You know they're not.
So we're off to comfest, and we order up a lift, and this guy that picks us up, it's just the most, like, casual, like, it was like he was gonna go golfing, but he just decided to swing by and give us a ride or something, you know what I mean? Like, he's wearing, like, a visor, you know, there's no pretense whatsoever that this guy's a professional taxi driver, like, license or anything. It's the amateurization of the employment, you know what I mean? Like, this guy just shows up in his car, you know what I mean? He doesn't even have, like, a black SUV, a black town car, anything. It's, like, literally, like, this beige Hyundai. He's not even a very good driver, really, you know? Like, he's kind of herky and jerky, and, like, I don't know if he kind of, like, sussed out the vibe, but we had dabbed, you know, in preparation for comfest. And I don't know if he was, like, trying to, like, narc us out or what, but, like, the last thing he says to us before we leave, he goes, "Hey, guys, drugs are illegal." But, he was just harsh in my mellow, man.
Thank you so much.
Yep, no problem. Drug use is illegal, guys, okay?
Of course.
I'm gonna go join this jump circle, guys. Goodbye. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, there's some tie-dye. There's some tie-dye. Peace, love, understanding, tarot, fucking crystals.
So this is us on our way to the comfest. The cum feast, as my brother Jack calls it.
Kombucha!
Which is sort of like the local Woodstock, you know? It started in, like, you know, I think 1970 or something, and it's like all the hippies at Ohio State at that time started this little block party where they had all these bands come play, and they had tie-dye and Tide Stick, and fucking, you know, our dad has been playing at comfest since, like, time immemorial, you know? It's just, like, it's a great local tradition, and we've been going every year of our lives since we were little kids, you know?
The dream of the 60s is still alive at comfest. Fuck yeah, comfest shit, yeah. Chilling out the comfest shit, yeah. Oh, they got bubbles. These kids got bubbles. Good God, that dog is fucking huge, man.
So what ended up happening was I heard the sirens call of the Grateful Dead cover band. My ears have been open to the Grateful Dead this year. I am a little bit of a closet Deadhead. I'm not that into them, but I don't have quite the knee-jerk, you know, rejection impulse that I once had. Starting to drink the Kool-Aid. I mean, I think that goes hand in hand with psychedelics, perhaps. But I won't go into it. So, I was sitting there with Jordan and her friend on our blanket over by the off-ramp stage, and I had my jean jacket there because I didn't know if the weather was going to be hot or cold or what. And I hear this Grateful Dead cover band playing this song, the medley, I Know You Rider, and I think China Cat Sunflower. And I was listening. I just wanted to kind of live in this song, man. And this band is playing it at comfest, obviously, because probably half the bands there are Grateful Dead cover bands.
That's cool. Oh my God, these dudes are playing Grateful Dead songs. That's so fucking funny. Oh shit.
So I'm just like, I gotta go listen to this. So I run over there, and it was kind of like the rabbit hole for me in a weird way. I got split up from Jordan when I went back to find them later, they were gone. My jean jacket was gone. I was just like, I was so depressed because I thought I had lost this jean jacket, you know, which I love so much. So anyway, I go back to find them. They're not there. So now I'm kind of on my own. I wander over. My dad's band is playing. You know, it was good to see them play. You know, like I said, he's been playing comfest since the 70s. I'm glad, you know, they're playing the jazz stage now. This dude they're playing with plays jazz flute, which is kind of a cool thing to be able to whip out.
She's at home. The baby? Yeah. The baby? The baby? It's awesome. Like 8.5 pounds now. Wow, really? Yeah. Wow, man, that's awesome. That's great. I know. They're gaining a bunch of weight real quick.
But then, after that, you know, I'm just kind of wandering around the bazaar of comfest, checking out the merchants and their wares, and just, it's the same shit every year, you know what I mean? Like, it is the state fair for liberals, you know, for NPR listeners. So, like, you know, I'm just kind of walking around comfest, and I see Reggie Perdue, the legendary Reggie Perdue, and he's just kind of chilling. He played at our house at the last Slooge thing. I think he was maybe the last act to play at the Slooge, actually. He's got a noise project called Vend, which is short for LSD vending machine or something like that. So I see him sitting on a blanket, and I go up, you know, and I start talking to him, and it turns out he's like getting a massage from this kind of older, like, spiritual lady. You know, there's a lot of like very kind of like, you know, chakras wide open, third eye people kind of explode, you know, in this place. I forget, somehow I had gotten, or maybe I picked it up there. We're sitting on this blanket that's like this kind of tie-dye blanket, you know, this kind of like very colorful, kind of like explosive blanket, you know. He's getting a massage from this lady, and it's not like creepy or sleazy or anything. It's actually like this very like healing kind of massage. And I think he asked me if I wanted one, or like maybe this woman was going to do an energy reading. I was like, yeah, sure. I was wearing this shirt, actually, I think. So I lay down, and this woman didn't even do a massage or anything. She literally put her finger, like, I forget where it was, someplace like on my shoulder, some kind of pressure point where it was just like, you know what I mean? Like, it really kind of hurt and like activated something, and she's just like, that's all you need. And she literally like held on it for like 10 or 15 minutes. So we're, you know, I'm just kind of hanging out there with Reggie Perdue and all these kind of like psychedelic people. This other woman kind of starts talking to us, and like I'm a little bit attracted to her. Like, we're kind of, I don't know, we're just like, something's kind of happening. Like, we're kind of, you know, she's kind of like a sexier woman, so I'm kind of, you know, interested. So they're talking about they're gonna go to like this after party at this artist's house in Victorian Village, which is a really cool part of town, you know, that has been gentrified, you know, over the past couple decades or whatever. So, you know, they asked me if I want to go to that, and I'm like, you know, absolutely. Like, now I'm down the rabbit hole, you know what I mean? So now we've kind of got this band, you know, of people that, like, I don't think I even had weed, because, like, my weed was in my jacket, and I didn't have my jacket, so, like, it's starting to get chilly, and I'm just kind of, like, cut loose suddenly. Like, this Lyft driver had dropped us off there. I've got no way to get home. I got no car or anything. I got to get back to Jordan's house, but she wasn't, like, texting me back. My phone was dying. I remember I think I took the psychedelic blanket and I tied it around my neck like I had a cape or something, you know, and it was just kind of one of those, you know, boy wizardy kind of nights. So we end up at this guy's house, you know, which is on a very nice block of sort of like resembling Victorian houses, you know, nice trees. It's a summer night. You know, we walk over there. It's not far from Goodale Park. And the entire house is literally furbished in art, original art. The entire house is this living art piece. You go into it and you are in this person's imagination. All of the walls, all of the furniture is custom made. It's all painted, it's all colored. And you go in the backyard and all of the bushes and topiary are sort of orchestrated and choreographed and coordinated. And I just thinking the blocking of this, this guy's imagination, this guy's kind of like mise en scène, his sense of that is just, his cultivation of his entire living space as a piece of art, I thought is a logical conclusion of the way that we've been living. And if you had total freedom, if you owned your own house, like I was reading an interview with him, he bought this house in the 80s for $40,000. He was a part-time mail delivery mail carrier for 20 years. This guy's self-taught. He's got a very interesting life story. Apparently, he was born in Licking County, like rural Ohio, He was a pretty mischievous kid, and when he was very young, he was in a fire. Like, one of his friends, they were playing with fire, and they had, like, this stick that was on fire, and they touched, like, a gas can, and it, like, exploded, and, like, he got all these burns and shit. He said it really changed his life, and you can totally see that in his art. His art has this incandescent kind of, he draws flames, and even his house, his house is this sort of attempt to, like, animate. I'd never heard of this guy when I lived in Columbus, and, like, it was this unbelievable kind of, but yet logical next step after Comfest, like, of course, where are you going to go after Comfest? You're going to go to, this cartoon house.
You are also able to go up the stairs to see all the other murals.
Okay.
Interesting.
No, we can go through the whole house.
So that it's,
Wow. His room?
to be seen.
Really? All right, let's check it out.
I'll walk really slowly, just in case you get the upskirt shot.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I love
yeah.
that one.
Should I aim for that?
I mean, and I've heard it's
I
fabulous,
mean,
but it's not up to me.
Oh my God.
Look at the bathroom. Look at the tile. You did all this mosaic.
I can't believe I've never heard of this before. Like, this is just so dope. It's insane.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I could bring you.
It's one of those wonderful things that you stumble into.
It's almost better than you can imagine.
Dude, this is way better.
Right, you can't even, like, there's no way to explain it other than you have to come
Yeah,
with
like
me.
you're literally just in somebody else's reality, like.
And he's very visual.
Yeah, every
and strange.
every
and
inch of the
eccentric.
house is just like art,
It's absolutely art. He is an artist. His bedroom.
I don't know if I'm regretting or thankful that I didn't take hallucinogens.
Yeah, is it too late?
It's never too late.
You will really get to know him. And he welcomes you.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Wonderful.
This woman who I met, who's Reggie Perdue's friend, who I'm like sort of crushing on, I'm sort of vibing with. She's also vibing with Charles Wince, that's the guy's name, and I can't tell if like they're trying to hook up, and I'm not, like this dude's so cool, like do your thing, man. He's got this painting in his bedroom called Mother Russia Meltdown, and literally it's like this giant, 20 feet by 10 feet, He's been working on it for 20 years. It's like his masterpiece, and it's just this unbelievable kind of, his work sort of reminded me of the Nicole Eisenman stuff, and just kind of like the brightness and the kind of glee, and sort of like comic strip informed simplicity mixed with just like virtuoso kind of technique.
I like this kind of nod to Salvador Dali. I really do. There's that one painting, it's gigantic, the Troubadour painting, where he used a bunch of dots in the corner, like the colorful dots, like that reminds me of that, and like almost even fading out like that. I love it. I've heard that before.
Which pardon?
I have heard that sound before.
Oh.
I have. I mean, if you listen carefully, anyone can hear it. It's a terrible sound.
Right
Now,
We hear Jay Giles. That's Jay Giles. What's on the stereo? It's Jay Giles. Love Stinks.